What's up, YouTube? This is MathWiz97 and welcome to episode number 1 of my WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. It's that time of the year again. Time for a brand new season of Universe Mode. Now, for those of you who are just discovering my channel, this is the 4th installment of my Universe Mode series that started all the way back in WWE 13, and a lot has happened over the past 3 years. Now, just to give you guys a bit of a disclaimer, this video will not feature any gameplay, like any matches from WWE 2K16. That will be the next episode. This episode is more to just set up the series and recap the events that have gone on previously, because, like I said, this series has a lot that has happened in the past, and it's going to continue to gain a larger history as time goes on. But don't worry, you've got 3 options on your hands right now. The first is to skip the history and head straight for what is to come in the future, the whole setup of WWE 2K16. There will be a timestamp down in the description that will take you straight to the customization, so if you're familiar with the series, or if you don't care about what has happened in the past, then you may go ahead and click the timestamp down there, but I personally would recommend that you at least familiarize yourself with what happened recently, because that's going to have a major influence on the current product. As for the rest of you, you have 2 options left. The second is to go back and watch last year's recap of WWE 2K14 and or the recap of WWE 13 I made 2 years ago. This is if you want to understand exactly what all has happened throughout the series, just get sort of a brief experience as to what has gone down. There will be links to both of those episodes down in the description or in links on your screen right now. Feel free to check out those videos before continuing on with the recap in just a few moments. For those of you who are still remaining, you have chosen option 3, to view the recap of last year's series before moving on to this year's. Unless you decide to leave the video sometime before it ends, in which case, without any further delay, let's move on to the recap of WWE 2K15. WWE 2K15 Universe Mode consisted of 3 core shows: Raw, SmackDown, and Main Event. Monday Night Raw began with the WWE Championship and United States Championship, while Friday Night SmackDown possessed both the World Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships. There was and still is a brand split between these 2 shows, but the Tag Team titles and the Divas Championship are not brand exclusive, which means that they can be defended on both shows. Main Event is the only cross-branded venue, not including the pay-per-views. At the start of the series, the WWE Champion was John Cena, the United States Champion was Jack Swagger, the Tag Team Champs were the Wyatt family, the Divas Champ was Summer Rae, the World Heavyweight Champion was Mark Henry, and the Intercontinental Champion was Ryback. Let's begin with the Divas Championship, which was defended against Natalya at the Royal Rumble before changing hands at the Elimination Chamber in a triple threat match. New champ Brie Bella went on to defend the gold at WrestleMania before dropping the title to Paige at Extreme Rules. Paige went on to defeat Brie in a rematch at Over the Limit before losing the title to Tamina Snuka at Payback. The title changed hands for the final time at Money in the Bank, with Paige defeating both Tamina and Emma to become the first ever 2-time Divas Champion in Universe Mode. Next up is the Tag Team Championships, which were defended on the final episode of SmackDown prior to the Royal Rumble against the Primetime Players. The titles were then defended at Elimination Chamber and Extreme Rules against the team of Booker T and Goldust and The Shield, respectively. At Over the Limit, the Ascension dethroned the Wyatt family's legendary reign of 192 days and became the new Tag Team Champions. After the Wyatt family's mysterious disappearance following the event, the Ascension went on to defend the belts against the Usos at Payback and Money in the Bank. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship, Ryback defended the gold against Big Show and Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, respectively. At WrestleMania, his 192-day reign was concluded after Titus O'Neil won a Fatal 4-Way match, also involving Darren Young and Cody Rhodes. Titus went on to defend his title at Extreme Rules, Over the Limit, Payback, and Money in the Bank against Ryback, Goldust, Darren Young, and Tyson Kidd, respectively. The United States Championship is up next, with the belt changing hands in a triple threat match between Jack Swagger, Big E, and Alberto Del Rio at the Royal Rumble. Del Rio defended the title against Cesaro at Elimination Chamber, but he eventually lost it to Cesaro in a rematch at WrestleMania. Cesaro went on to retain the belt in a rematch with Del Rio at Extreme Rules, and he did the same at Over the Limit in a triple threat match involving Del Rio and Curtis Axel. Following the pay-per-view, Cesaro began issuing a weekly United States Championship Open Challenge on Monday Night Raw. Some highlights include his matches with Ric Flair, Kevin Nash, and Christian, but his best thus far has to be his match with Daniel Bryan on the final episode of Raw in 2K15. Seriously, go check it out. It's definitely going to be a candidate for Match of the Year when the Slammy Awards roll around. Now here's where things get tricky. The World Heavyweight Championship was retained at the Royal Rumble in a triple threat match against Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio, while John Cena retained the WWE title against Batista on the same night. At Elimination Chamber, both titles changed hands in their respective chamber matches, with Christian capturing the world title and The Rock capturing the WWE title. At WrestleMania, Christian retained his title in a triple threat match against Mark Henry and Edge, but The Rock lost his title to CM Punk. Following WrestleMania, CM Punk, along with his WWE Championship, were drafted to SmackDown via the first ever WWE Draft. In Part 2 of the draft, Christian was drafted to Raw, bringing with him the World Heavyweight Championship, resulting in both titles swapping shows. The WWE title is now exclusive to SmackDown, while the World title is now exclusive to Raw. You got all that? Good. Since the draft, CM Punk went on to defend his belt at Extreme Rules and Over the Limit against Wade Barrett and Sheamus respectively. At Payback, he retained the title in a fatal four-way involving Barrett, Sheamus, and Roman Reigns. He defended it again at Money in the Bank by beating John Cena. Christian, on the other hand, lost his title at Extreme Rules to Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler then defended the title against Christian at Over the Limit before going on to defeat Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat at Payback. Finally, at Money in the Bank, Ziggler retained the championship in a TLC match against Edge. I hope you all enjoyed the brief recap of WWE 2K15. If you ever want to keep track of my championship history as the series progresses, feel free to check out my page over on the Brendan Plays forums. I have a list over there that breaks down the stats of each championship reign dating back to the genesis of my universe mode. With that being said, it's now time to enter the world of WWE 2K16. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to the customization portion of this episode. As now we're going to get into the real meat of what this series is going to be. As we can see, setting up the base for this universe mode, we've got our 4 championships here for Raw, 6 matches on the card. We'll discuss the championships in a little more detail later on. We've got main event as well, which is the cross-branded show, and then Friday Night SmackDown with also 6 matches. And the way they do the roster this year is a bit different than previous years, so I'll have to get to that in a moment. But as we can see, these are the pay-per-views we've got scheduled. My goal is to reach the Royal Rumble by the end of 2K16. If I could get further, that'd be cool. But my goal is the Royal Rumble. Hopefully I can make it that far. As we see, if you gotta look for the rivalries, you actually have to go to participants this year. And it confused me for a moment there when I was setting this up. So we're actually just gonna go ahead. The easiest way for me to do this, because otherwise I gotta sort through everybody. We're just gonna go to the championship rankings, and as you can see, we have the World Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler, and we got the likes of Seth Rollins, Big Show, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Booker T, Dean Ambrose, Rusev, R-Truth, wait a minute, CM Punk. Okay, so CM Punk is no longer on Raw. We've also got the likes of Sami Zayn, Ryback, The Miz, Cesaro, Zack Ryder, Fandango, Adam Rose, Heath Slater, Damien Sandow, Curtis Axel, Edge, and Christian. Might have missed a few names there in the transition, but I do apologize. Anyway, they're all on your screen. You can see them right there. We've also got the United States Champion Cesaro. The Divas Champion is Paige, and the Tag Team Champions are the Ascension. And like I said earlier, these are not brand exclusive, so there's no real point in going into those at the moment in terms of seeing who's on which roster, because ultimately it doesn't really matter. They'll be listed in the singles championships anyway as to which brand they're on, but yeah, those titles are there as well. And then we've got SmackDown, which has CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, John Cena, Chris Jericho, William Regal, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry, Santina Marella, Jack Swagger, Goldust, Sheamus, Tyson Kidd, Bad News Barrett, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Sin Cara, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, Big E, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Victor Connor, Xavier Woods, Neville, and Bo Dallas. This is always a fun part of these videos, is having to speed through the roster. It's always fun. But there you go, that is who is on our shows for Universe Mode. And like I said, there won't be any gameplay this episode. We'll get to that next episode, which will be the first of Raw. As we can see, we've got a couple tag teams here. We have actually got a lot of tag teams. We have the team of Sheamus and Barrett, Tyson Kidd and Jack Swagger, a couple of ones that I made. Then we have, of course, the standard New Day, Usos, Wyatt family, the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons, Enzo and Big Cass, and the Vaudevillains. Those are all teams that I'm really looking forward to debuting to the series in just a few, I don't know, whenever I can get to it. In case you're wondering why are they not on the rosters yet, that's because they have not made their debuts yet, and I would rather not spoil which show they're going to be on or when they're going to be debuting. So just be on the lookout for that. They will be in the series, trust me, they will be. But they just haven't made their debut yet, which is why they're not assigned to a specific roster. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're excited for WWE 2K16. Hope you're excited for Universe Mode. And the next episode will be the first of Raw for the season. I guess you could call it the season premiere. Anyway, thank you for watching, and keep on YouTubing.